Let's be real. If this happened to you, you'd crash out too. These are the moments in Kimpossible where losing it was not only understandable, it was 100% valid. In Sink or Swim, the Middleton cheer squad is on their way to a cheer competition when disaster strikes. The bus gets stranded near the old Camp Wanoweep after a tire bursts. Right away, Ron completely loses it, and for good reason. He has a long, very traumatic history with Camp Wanoweep and absolutely hates being anywhere near it.
This is a place of evil. Stay close and you'll stay alive.
While everyone else sees an inconvenient pit stop, Ron sees a nightmare scenario unfolding in real time. He immediately starts freaking out, trying to explain why this place is bad news, but no one takes him seriously.
Listen up, people! Camp Wanoweep is a dangerous and wicked place, and among us, only I, Ron Stoppable, know how to survive here.
Ron attempts to warn the group about Camp Wanoweep and its creepy reputation, but his concerns are brushed off as classic Ron overreacting. With no phone service working, the group decides they have no choice but to spend the night at the camp. As they sit around a campfire, Ron goes all in, telling horrifying stories about the camp's dark past. Once again, everyone laughs it off, assuming he's just being dramatic and trying to scare people for attention, completely ignoring the fact that nothing about this place feels normal.
Let's just enjoy the campfire and relax.
Things quickly take a turn when people start disappearing one by one, and panic finally sets in.
That's not a human footprint, Kim.
Okay, I'm getting a little freaked out here.
There's only one place to go. Cabin 13.
This is when Ron comes face to face with Gil, a mutated villain who reveals he's been behind everything. The burst tire, the cut telephone lines, and the entire setup.
So you were behind the blowout on the bus and everything. Why?
All part of my plan to revenge against Ron Stoppable.
Gil was mutated by the toxic waters of Lake Wanoweep and is seeking revenge on Ron. In the end, Ron's fear is completely validated. Camp Wanoweep really is a terrifying place, and his freakout wasn't overreacting at all. It was survival instinct kicking in exactly when it should have. In New Ron gets a brand new hairstyle, and at first, it completely freaks him out. He's not feeling it at all, until he realizes the ladies absolutely love it.
That's a very, very cool haircut, Ron Stoppable.
Thanks.
I'll see you later.
Maybe. I mean, sure, yeah. Later.
The second that attention hits, Ron does a full 180. Suddenly, he's confident, swaggered up, and way too aware of how cool he looks. What started as a simple haircut quickly turns into Ron discovering a whole new personality he didn't know he had.
What happened to you?
Ron Stoppable has arrived. Amelia, babe, let's lunch.
Okay.
That's when things start to get annoying, especially for Kim. Ironically, the haircut was her idea in the first place, but now Ron is leaning way too hard into his cool guy era. He starts acting distant, overly smooth, and completely wrapped up in himself. Kim, who's used to her goofy, loyal best friend, finds herself stuck dealing with someone who feels more like a walking ego than Ron Stoppable.
So there's no room for Rufus in your new life?
Yes, there is. There's just no room for him in my new pants. Leather.
So, was Kim's crash out valid? Absolutely. Ron wasn't just feeling confident. He was acting arrogant, brushing off his friendship and even sidelining Rufus. The charm wore off fast, and Kim clearly missed the old Ron, the awkward, genuine guy who made time for his friends. At that point, her frustration wasn't jealousy or pettiness. It was the very real realization that confidence is cool, but not when it comes at the cost of who you are. In Downhill, Kim is gearing up for what should be one of the best moments of her life. A school field trip she's genuinely excited about. That excitement immediately crashes when she finds out her parents are going to be the chaperones.
Wait, you don't mean meet our new ski trip chaperones. Smiles!
For any teenager, that's nightmare fuel. This was supposed to be a chance to have fun with friends, not a front row seat to parental embarrassment. Once the trip starts, Kim's fears come true. Her parents begin sharing stories from her childhood. Cute to them, mortifying to her.
Fun travel game that Kimmy used to love on family trips.
When she wasn't begging for a rest stop.
Every embarrassing detail turns into a punchline, with classmates laughing and taking full advantage of the moment.
Oh, honey, 2-year-olds have been known to strut around stark naked. Am I right?
Absolutely. Please, Go on.
Instead of enjoying the trip, Kim becomes the center of unwanted attention, and not in a heroic way. So was Kim's crash out valid? Completely. No one likes being reduced to embarrassing childhood stories, especially in front of peers who will never let it go. Kim's frustration wasn't overreacting. It was a very real response to having her privacy and dignity casually tossed aside. In this case, her meltdown was less drama and more self-defense. In Bueno Nacho, Kim has her eye on a stylish new jacket, but there's one big problem. She doesn't have the cash to buy it.
Kim, I have bad news.
No kidding. I cannot afford this jacket.
She tries convincing her dad to help her out, but he shuts that idea down immediately. That's when her mom suggests something very reasonable. If Kim wants the jacket, she should get a job.
A job? At Bueno Nacho?
Now that's the way forward.
You practically live there anyway.
Come on, Ron. We practically live here anyway.
Kim decides Ron should work there with her, but Ron wants nothing to do with it. Instead of taking no for an answer, Kim goes ahead and applies for the job for both of them without telling him. When Ron finds out, he's clearly not happy about being dragged into it, even though Kim thinks she's helping.
And you? Me what? Isn't this your application, Mr. Stoppable? What? I didn't. You didn't.
It'll be more fun if we both work here.
Once they start working, the tables turn fast. Ron discovers that he's actually really good at the job, naturally good, while Kim struggles way more than she expected. This completely flips their dynamic, and Kim isn't thrilled that something she pushed for is now Ron's moment to shine.
You didn't even want this job.
I didn't know what I wanted, Kim. I was lost, adrift in the wilderness. But that was then. Now, I belong. I belong to Bueno Nacho. Yo amo este lugar!
Ron's success snowballs to the point where he's promoted to manager of Bueno Nacho. That's where things really fall apart. When Kim wants to leave work for a mission, Ron refuses to let her go, putting his manager role above their usual partnership.
Kim, we could argue all day, but that's not gonna get this floor mopped.
Mop it yourself, boss. And find a new nacho drone. I quit.
Yeah? We'll find a new sidekick. What are you looking at? I want that floor to sparkle.
So in this episode, we get crash outs from both sides. Kim overstepped by forcing Ron into the job, and Ron let power go to his head when he finally had control. Their clash ends up straining their friendship in a very real way. Was it valid, or did they both take things too far? Tell me what you think in the comments. In October 31st, Draken and Duff are in the middle of haggling over the Centurion project. Draken trying to buy it, Duff trying to make a sale, when Kim suddenly shows up and completely ruins the deal by retrieving the project herself. Even after losing it, Duff still has the nerve to ask if he's getting paid. And that's the final straw for Draken, who completely crashes out on the spot.
Do I still get me money?
In all the news, Ron is working hard to become a writer for the school paper, but it's not going well since all his story ideas keep getting rejected.
You're giving me nothing here, Stoppable. Where's the edge? The angle? You want to get on the paper? Write a story that makes me care.
He's frustrated and desperate for something that will finally get him noticed. While hanging out with Kim, Ron realizes that Kim basically has the perfect teenage life, so he decides to interview her, thinking her experiences will give him the ideal story for the paper and finally earn him some recognition.
Why are you looking at me like that?
'Cause I found my story. I'm gonna interview you, the Kimpossible.
Since when does my name have a "the" in front of it?
During the interview, Kim talks about the team and casually mentions that Brick Flag was hot in last week's game, clearly meaning his performance and skills on the field. Ron, however, twists her words and writes in the paper that Kim thinks Brick himself is hot.
Cheerleader Kimpossible thinks quarterback Brick Flag is HOT hot by Ron Stoppable?
Kim is understandably furious, and honestly, who wouldn't be? Ron deliberately rephrased her comment into something he knew would embarrass her just to score points for himself without caring how badly it could affect their friendship.
Ron, you ferociously misquoted me.
Whoa, I may have done a tiny bit of rephrasing, but come on, you'd think a crime-fighting cheerleader would give a more interesting interview. The paper liked my story so much they're giving me a column.
That crash out from Kim was completely valid. In Twin Factor, Draken uses a mind control chip to gain full control over both Kim and Shigo, forcing their total obedience so he can use them to carry out his evil plans. The twins swoop in with Ron's help and create a disruptor that shuts down the chips, freeing both Kim and Shigo. And honestly, Shigo's crash out afterward is completely valid after being literally mind-controlled against her will.
Do you have any idea what listening to you is like? It is so boring!
In Animal Attraction, Senor Senior has his exclusive Billionaire Club membership revoked after repeated run-ins with Kim, with the club claiming his behavior reflects poorly on their elite image.
Senor, a member in a melee with an American cheerleader. It reflects, how shall I say, poorly on the club.
Being publicly kicked out of a group built entirely on ego and status is already enough to sting. But for Senor Senior, it's downright humiliating. Unable to hide his frustration, Senor immediately plots revenge. His solution? Freezing every single member of the Billionaire Club.
Perhaps I engineer a crash of financial markets that freezes the club's assets.
That would require a large freezer.
I was not speaking literally, my son. Was I?
Is it an over-the-top response? Absolutely. But in true Kimpossible fashion, this is a textbook villain crash out. Dramatic, excessive, and completely on brand for him. In car trouble, Mr. Steve Barkin completely loses his patience during a driving lesson, and honestly, who can blame him? The class is so bad behind the wheel that everyone ends up failing, turning what should have been a simple lesson into pure chaos. It's a painfully accurate glimpse into real-life teaching frustrations when no one listens, no one improves, and you're left questioning your life choices, because at that point, even the calmest teacher would crash out. In Ron Millionaire, Ron receives a Bueno Nacho royalties check worth a jaw-dropping $99 million, which is insane by any standard. He promises that the money won't change him, but almost immediately we see him dripping in gold chains, rolling with bodyguards, and surrounded by brand new friends who definitely weren't around before the cash showed up.
Ron, what are you doing? Handing out money to everyone that walks by?
Oh, sorry, Kim. Here, get yourself something nice.
The Ron will get on the nerves.
Kim's frustration here is completely valid, especially when Ron goes as far as treating Bonnie like his girlfriend, someone who never gave him the time of day until the money entered the chat.
I knew from the moment that you stepped into my establishment that you were a man who could not settle for second best.
I used to settle for last place, but money changes everything. You should get that check, Kim.
They say money doesn't change you, it just reveals people, but in this case, it clearly does a bit of both. And Kim is right to feel pushed aside while watching her best friend turn into someone she barely recognizes